Today we want to introduce you guys to a couple of our cocktails and a beautiful rendition on our charcuterie board. We all know and love this presentation. It's great to have at parties. And here we're just going to put together and kind of show a little bit of how to make a beautifully aesthetic and appealing charcuterie plate. So Mark, why don't we start with a couple cocktails? What do you think would go really well with, a kind of sharing platter such as a charcuterie?
Good. I think we could start basically with our NSC feature cocktail. The one is called NSC Violet Vibe. It goes really well with a nice charcuterie board. We're gonna use our vodka. We use in Icebridge. It's a product of Ontario. Cool. Next, I'm gonna add the cherry whiskey, half an ounce. We're gonna keep going with half an ounce of a simple syrup. We're gonna put our cocktail into a nice fancy white wine glass. Now the shaking. So a lot of people ask me like, what is your technique like to shake, Mark?
Right.
How do you do that? So basically,
I always told it was in the hips.
in the hips, I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, okay.
But just imagine that you've been to a roller coaster, right?
Right, yeah.
So imagine you have a roller coaster and you want to make a turn. So basically you want to imagine your cocktails going into loops and then you just go faster and faster at some point.
Okay, pick up the speed, pick up the speed.
And if you only can, you can add some beat to it.
Ah, see, that's where the hips come in.
Okay, there's some hips in it.
All right.
Fantastic. So as you can see right now, we have a nice red color. It's not yet the purple we are looking for. Add a bit more ice.
Is there anything else that the shaking does to help blend the drink?
So what it does, it really puts some air into the cocktail, so it's going to enhance the flavor.
Enhance the flavors. Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm going to add just like a quarter ounce of the blue curacao. And this is where the magic happens. So slowly, it's going to turn into the purple.
Oh, the old NAC purple. I like it.
There you go. And then to finish it, we're just going to add our soda.
Soda, a little freshener on top.
Exactly. Here we go. And I top it off.
Oh, and what is this that we're putting on?
Spit.
Oh, that's awesome. It looks beautiful. So, if I was to drink this one, what's my friend going to drink? What? You said there's a couple cocktails we were doing today,
yes.
Right?
So this one is like more on the sweet side. So as I said, it's just like a popsicle. The other one we're going to have is called the One Elgin Tonic. And the One Elgin is something, there's a little bit of sweetener, but it's more like on the herbal side, more on the gin side. And we also put the rosemary syrup. We really give him like that herbaceous flavor.
A lot more savory notes, it sounds like.
Oh,
in
yes.
That one, yeah.
Sounds really good. We start by filling it with ice. We're gonna go with our rosemary syrup. There you go.
Syrup. Okay, so that's simple syrup, and we've just put in some stalks of rosemary to infuse into the syrup.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Half an ounce of the lemon juice also. And then directly we're gonna add our tonic. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go almost to the top. So that's 75% of the drink. And when it's done, we're gonna get our Impression, another fabulous Canadian product. So as you see, it's blue right now, but if you add anything acidic to it, it's going to turn into a nice purple.
Because of science.
Yes.
Science, right.
We love science.
We do love science here.
Excellent. So I'm going to go with 1.5. Just put a little spoon on top, and there you go.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
So your alcohol is going to float on top. Because we add sugar, the simple syrup is more dense, so it's instead to stay in the bottom of the drink. And your alcohol is more like light. It's going to stay on the top. And then we're going to garnish it again with a nice dried lemon. This one is beautiful. And there you have it.
All right, Mark. So we got two wonderful cocktails now. I feel like we need something to go with it, right?
You don't want the night to finish too early, you know?
That's true. So over here, we've got a wonderful spread of different accompaniments, different meats and cheeses that all come together to make a charcuterie board. Charcuterie is definitely an art form, and to us chefs, we look at it as a very skilled art of curing and preserving meats. That's basically what charcuterie boils down to. What I like to do is have a bunch of different flavors and components that go on this board. Starting off, we've got a bunch of different meats here. So we're just going to start putting some of those down. So I've got a nice hot salami here.
I see you all pre-roll them before. It's nice.
Yeah, you could have your meat and you could just, you know, take it down and you put it on a flat circle. But we want to give some height, some depth, some dimension to the plate when we're doing it. So I take it, I make like a little rose flower. Very simple, fold it in half, roll that over a circle, and you just get this nice kind of uniform, almost floral look to it. Next, we've got a little beef bresaola. So this is beef tenderloin that's been dried and cured again in salt and hung dry for months until all that moisture is gone, and then just thinly sliced. Lots of depth, lots of flavor. This is a German style, actually from Austria style prosciutto. So this is a prosciutto, same cut as your traditional Italian prosciutto, but this one is cold smoked. So a little bit more depth, a little bit more flavor in there as well too.
Everything that is smoky is amazing.
Yeah. The next piece I have here is another pork product. So this is a country style pork terrine. We make it in-house. We've been doing it for a few years now. It's one of the hits on our charcuterie board here at One Elgin. Lots of flavors. There's some double smoked bacon that we fold into it with those dried fruits. So you get sweet, salty, smoky, everything in there. And then the last piece, we've got this beautiful piece of Arctic char that we got from up north. What I like to do to finish it, because I am putting it on the platter as a smoked component, I want people to see that char. So what I like to do is I just take a little bit of maple syrup, do a light brush on top of that Arctic char right before it goes out to the table.
Doesn't get more Canadian than that, huh?
Yeah, you know it, right? And then we just hit it with a torch just to kind of wake it up a little bit, give it a little bit of that charcoal. And again, something quick and easy that you can do at your house with some smoked salmon that you bought at the store, some fish that you had left over from the night before. You just kind of glaze it up, wake it up, and you can put it down on the platter, right? Charcuterie doesn't need to be just protein as in like cow or beef or pork, right? We're starting to see a lot more what we call seafood charcuterie or seacouterie.
A lot of creativity is nice.
Yeah, you know, a great way to have different flavors and different bites on there too, because that's what the platter's all about. It's about having options for your guests. Now we're going to look at garnishing it a little bit. So we come back over to this wonderful platter. We've got some beautiful mustards here. So this is a mustard that we make in-house here. It is a honey mustard. So this is literally just pickled mustard seeds.
Nice.
Whole mustard seeds. Adds a nice little pop, almost like a caviar. To the dish. So we're just going to put a couple of those down. Again, we're looking for guests when they're seeing this board to be able to make their own bites. Right? We want to give them the options. We want them to be able to make their own. So here we've got a little bit of creme fraiche. So this is basically just heavy cream and lemon juice. And you got a beautiful light little accompaniment. Great to go with that fish. All right, nice little garnish on top of that.
Magnifique.
Next, we've got some caper daisies. So just going to put those on there. Any jams and chutneys that you have go really well with cured meats. Again, playing on that sweet saltiness of it. There, like that. And then we've got our pickle. Each pickle is going to taste a little bit different. From your cucumber, we got pickled blueberries, we got some pickled mango here, we've got some in-house sauerkraut here, so fermented product, some fermented carrot, and a little bit of pickled ginger. So just the same way that pickled ginger with sushi works, you know, you're supposed to eat your sushi, have a little bite of that pickled ginger to cleanse your palate before you go into the next bite. Same kind of idea here on the charcuterie board. So having components that go well together with the meats, but also stand alone on their own to help you go into for that next bite. Again, different dimensions, different flavors, different feels. Just to go down on the plate. So we got a beautiful plate here. The only thing we're missing now is carriers, right? How do we get this from here into here, right? Mm-hmm. So a great way to do that is having different chips, crackers, crostinis, things like that that are going on here. So that's going to sit right there. And last but not least, for sure, is our fresh toasted baguette. That sits right there. You know, a little fresh drizzle of olive oil on that. It's already looking full, but I can still see space there, right? Fill it up. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful blue cheese. For those that say they don't like blue cheese, it's too much, it's, you know, tastes like, you know, a foot or something like that. I know that there's a funk to it, but that's what cheese is all about. It's all about, you know, those fun bacteria that are growing in
Personally,
there.
I think the stinkier the better.
I agree too. Yeah.
Blue is my favorite all the time.
And again, when you pair with the right things, it opens up a whole nother level of flavors for you as well too. So, you know, that pickled mango with that blue cheese would be a phenomenal bite. It's almost like pairing blue cheese, but with a little bit more punch to it. And then last but definitely not least is our Riopelle.
What I can tell you, you put my charcuterie plateau to shame. This one is beautiful.
Like I said, you know, it's all about having different components, different styles of meats, cheeses, different pickles, things like that. How you put it down on the board is all up to you visually and how you want to create it, but giving things some height, giving things a little bit of dimension, that's what it's all about when you're building a charcuterie board. All right, thank you, Mark, for having me here at your bar today. I'm usually stuck back in the kitchen, but you know, it's been a lot of fun out here working with the drinks and building the charcuterie plates and learning from you, and hopefully I've taught you a thing or two.
You definitely did.
Well, let us know if we've taught you anything or what you thought of this content.
Have a good one.